Well, I also have sticker reviews from this man. And there's nothing to stickers. Yeah.
Started.
Right.
I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah.
Is Holly not here tonight? Holly. Everyone give her some shit when she gets here. All right. Oh no, I removed my channels. What is the UT Slack one? The UTFSF, is that what it is? The Slack channel? April? What? What?
2016.
I forgot. I've been getting this computer ready to give back to them, so I took a bunch of stuff off of here. Whoops. Just the hits keep coming. All right. Well, when that opens, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So today we are going to learn how to take MySQL data from a database and bring it into our Express application to use it. Fill in the placeholders. Let me get started. Let's let this go. Okay, cool. What was that?
What?
It's always some little Easter egg you're putting on here.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, you did something.
What actually happened?
Did you not see
Your quote on the
Your quote was on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Which one was it?
I didn't read it. It went too fast for me to read it.
Yeah, I've got maybe 10 on there. It's the first hand you've seen.
Which means those are not stuck in there.
All right, there is the channel for all our friends online. Now, once again, my stupid microphone is malfunctioning, so if you're online, you're going to hear a lot of the chatter from the front row here. It's pretty quiet front row this time, though. Thank God.
Well, that can always be adjusted.
All right. Okay, so this is week 14. So welcome to week 14. We're on the other side of the hill now, kind of descending, but we got a lot of time left. You know, what we got 10 weeks left. 10 weeks, enough time to meet someone new, fall in love. They fall out of love. You start stalking them. I'm gonna find you, Krista. I'm watching you. Okay, so healthy relationships can turn into horrible ones in 10 weeks. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn ourselves the final step of the way into full stack developers. All right. So today's class objectives are to send MySQL data from the back end to the front end using Express. We're going to introduce you guys to semantic templating using Handlebars. All right. We're going to understand the basic syntax of Handlebars and create simple web applications with that syntax. And then we're going to create an Express connection to a front-end application that takes in MySQL data and then prints it out to the screen using those Handlebar templates. Okay, so as always, we're building and building and building upon things, okay? And since we are building upon things, we're going to go ahead and start our class today with a little bit of a review, okay? But first I think I want to go ahead and demo the homework. The finished homework for everybody. That's this week's homework. We're going to be building a burger consuming app.
What?
Friend Finder? Yeah, I know, but the week that this builds on is what I'm saying. This week means it'll be what you work on next week.
To us this Saturday.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So you get a little preview. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
All right. So you get a little preview. Don't say I didn't get you anything. All right. All right. So let's take a look at this. Now I've already gone through and I've set up this database in my computer over here. So in MS SQL or MySQL Workbench, I've gone ahead and run some of this SQL that we see here. Let's go ahead and minimize that. It's, giving John too much screen time there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how the application actually runs. So let's go ahead and get that started in Bash in my case because I'm on a PC. So I'm going to go to the directory. Is there another burger in there? Okay. Burger solution. Did you see that? It was like burger. Okay. So let's go ahead and I've already run npm, and as if you guys can see this, it's kind of probably small from your view. And Candace came in here. Candace came in here and sprayed us with the hose. Okay. So what we see here is the root of my project here. I've already run npm and installed all these node modules. So you see the node module folder here, and then you'll notice a series of other folders. Okay, and as we get more and more advanced in this class, we're building these full stack web development projects. We need a little organization, and this is just what you see here is kind of a little hinting towards one of the ways that people organize applications. Has anybody ever heard of MVC? Yeah, exactly. And so what do you see here? You see a model, a controllers, and a views folder. Okay. So similarly, that's the way that this project's been set up. But that's not really important right yet. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and bring this application up. So node server.js. Okay. And okay, gave me a little bit of squawk, but I think it says that I'm running, so that's good. So now my server's running, I can go ahead and bring up the application. So let me do that real quick. Which one is this on? That's on 3000. Okay, so I'm going to bring up localhost 3000. When I bring up localhost 3000, it goes straight to this /burgers. Okay, and what you see here is actual stuff that it's pulling from the database. So if I was to go back to my SQL here, whoa, that's huge. And I look at where'd my burgers go? Oh, refresh. Ah, here we go. Burger. Oh, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? You would. All right, and I look at my columns in here, and I can see that I have ID, burger name, and devoured, and it's going to go ahead and bring those through. Now, if I wanted to add another burger, anybody got a burger that they love or anything? Burgers you've loved before? Tofu burger. Tofu burger? Tofu burger? Portobello burger?
I'm sure it said it's a burger.
The triple spicy burger.
You gotta go 3x3 protein style mustard fry.
So then, if I wanted to, I could always devour it. Like I want to devour the Freaky Burger, I can go ahead and devour it. Freaky Burger has been devoured. Okay. So that's basically the application. A whole lot of stuff goes into this. Not a whole lot happening on the front end, but it is a very interesting step into creating a full two-way posting getting type of application. All right. So this is just kind of a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be working on.
Is that the entirety of the functionality website?
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure is. Cheeseburger, the pizza burger, and the triple spicy burger.
There's no like regurgitation. Like
Nope, but you could build that if you wanted to.
Hey, Jim, so
Yes.
upon opening the application, it shows all the burgers they go on the database.
That are in the database, yes.
And then once the user adds extra, we'll pull from the database.
Exactly what has been happening here. So if I bring up the terminal, we can see that all the stuff I was doing has been actually being squawked back on the command line. See that? The devouring burgers. There you go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. And let's move on to our first activity. Like I said, our first activity today is to kind of act as a refresher of the stuff that we've already covered. So there won't be anything new in this one. It'll just be kind of putting together things that we've already learned. We're going to go ahead and slack out those instructions. And while we're doing that, did anybody have any remaining questions about that amazing burger application?
What differentiates this from last week's homework, other than we're running it on a browser?
We're using templating languages in this one, and we're drawing. The last one didn't draw straight from a database, did it?
It did.
But it was only on the command line, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
all setting, posting, and refreshing information from
Mhm.
database, and posting that information accordingly.
Yeah, this is the next baby step, which is taking that, bringing that information, and actually putting it back into a template. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to slack out these instructions. Instructions are basically creating an express calculator. So something that we've done using other methods before, we're going to go ahead and move on and try that again, but using express instead. Okay. Create an express calculator application with one route that is able to take 3 parameters, an operation and 2 numbers. The 4 operation values which the user may enter are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. When the route is hit, your browser should display the result of the math operation and the 2 numbers on the screen. So hypothetically speaking, if I had a URL like this one here, it should do what? What should it return? 11. Yep. That's how we're gonna create our endpoints for this API. Remember, just recently you guys were just reading your first documentation of APIs, and now you're creating your own. So cool. So cool. So very cool.
Probably basic stuff is really good. Really good sense. I'm about to do right now.
So you guys aren't excited to see Purity Ring there? Purity Ring. I've seen it a few times already, so it's again.
Did you just bring that up to run that?
No, I'm just saying I like them. I would go see them, but just one band, it's not worth buying it. They're more expensive than they should be too.
That's the only band you're interested in? That whole market?
I haven't really had a chance to deep look at the.
Also, like outside.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's weird.
It's like a camping fest.
It's at the Renfest actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the Sherwood Fair.
Sherwood Forest Fair.
Growing up in Houston, there can only be one Renfest. Which, by the way, if you ever get a chance, check out the drunk tank in the Magnolia County PD during Renfest. Hilarious.
That sounds great.
There's like drunk wizard and the centaur throwing up. You know, it's like amazing. I would say throwing down if it was the.
Yeah.
Wonder if Dan's here.
Yeah.
You've been pasting your whole life.
Rubber cement masturbation. It's a rubber cement. You never use that?
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh man, it's the best.
It's like kids who got it.
I have a line. You cross it. Probably made it right. That's like the final. Yeah, I think this is the final solution. Prior connotation. Yeah.
Final countdown. By the way, has anybody seen the Netflix show Stranger Things?
Everyone saw it.
I've heard, yeah.
Oh my God! They do the '80s like movie effect. I mean, it's so seamless now. It's gotten so good at pseudo '80s things.
Can you give me like a?
Yeah, it has like the long trailing thing that comes in.
What is it like? What is the premise here of this show?
It's kind of like kid disappears and there might be aliens involved.
Oh, so it's like sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like a thriller, sci-fi thriller kind of thing.
All right. I know it did.
Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, Super 8.
Yeah.
Similar to Super 8. You get it and you feel. Yeah.
Either way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, Stephen King. Oh yeah, it does kind of have the old school Stephen King looming title. Have you ever seen Dead Zone? It's got like the same. Oh, oops. Great.
Is that usually part of everyone's solution? That's usually sort of everyone's solution. Yeah, it's kind of pretty common. Yeah, express really those are called express. You know, it took me over 36 years to realize that conversation is a hunt.
Oh, yeah. I get it now.
Yeah.
One, yeah.
Yeah, it's like one.
Yeah. But I didn't have amendment was accepted.
Well,
You know, it was strange. It was the cat name and it down to like 1 and 1. Yeah. Yeah. The cat name. Yeah. Maybe just part of it. Oh, what about this one? Oh, no. This, I'm assuming that this means it's like a variable. And I think that leads to the question mark was at the top. I took the question mark.
Clappy clap clap.
So you're gonna create an HTML page for.
Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll send you.
Do those build a separate page for each one?
Let me show you what I'll send to you what I'm talking about.
That's pretty legit if that doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like this one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I wait. Yeah, I knew it was repeating, but I was trying to.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
You can do switch order or there's only 4. So switch is really for when you have a
Yeah.
It's a horrible situation, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing research at this point. No longer attempting.
What?
I'm learning.
This is review.
No, but so I'm looking into templating. Yeah.
Why? No, we're not doing templating yet. No templating until after break.
You're not. Oh, really? Alright, I'll do that.
Okay, so using that body first.
Doing body parts.
Like I said, we're building on things we've already done. So body parts are something we've already done. Huh?
Parse that body.
Yeah, I know. You could have one app get, parse off operation, first number, second number, response, request response. Inside there, you say return. So, right.
The one with like high
And then
ties.
inside that app get, you can build all your positions. Yeah.
So what that number I was?
Those are very good at taking advice. Sorry. I've been trying to get, random drops of aerosols, caffeine, pumping into the vents.
Fire particular set of skills. It's a very particular set of skills I have.
All right, or is everybody getting close? Feeling close? Don't worry, let's work on it for another 5 minutes here.
Line by Oh, yeah, I've done it. 3. That is
All right, let's take 5 more minutes to work on this one.
Yeah, it didn't manually, but
I think it's expecting it to be a status code. like, I'm also logging the result correctly,
Mm-hmm.
but it's saying, it's like, maybe it's because it's an entry, right? It's expecting it to be a status.
Oh, it's seeing it in the
Yeah,
actual.
they're all blurry. They're all blurry.
Yeah, because it keeps giving me the same thing. It's like, use res.send status instead of res.send.
Interesting. So it thinks you're trying to send over a status.
I mean, is there another way to just use a res.right hit to that right into the document or right body? I think it's already ported. See, like, a different way.
Let me show. Let me. We're about to share. We're about to share the solution to this one too. But give it a few more shots. For conditions switch statement, it's negligible. I've heard that short if else actually run faster than a short case statement, but that's like milliseconds, of course. No, it's more extensible. That's true. That is true. Yeah, I just hate switch statements sometimes. See, it's long, like 200. And one that was for configuration variables. They had a switch statement. Like every time they had a new configuration, they had to like go in and alter the switch. Horrible. Horrible.
Then you do a stable response that's in your name for additional files or write file. If you just go about that message, I just need to find a way to bypass to access that URL.
Body parser. Their hands are tender and have all their fingers from not touching them.
All of our fingertips have been playing bass for years.
Their knuckles are not filled with wolf teeth marks. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and talk about Kevin. Let's talk about this solution. All right, so if we take a look at the code for our Express calculator, I'll do that here. Let's take a look here. So make sure we're wrapping. Okay, cool. So here is my Express calculator, right? So let's all together go line by line and talk about what's happening here, okay? So let's go ahead and have Alexa start us off with these first three lines. So first here. Okay. Express, body parser. Administrative the variable for the main application, the main Express application. Right? Okay. Moving on. Would you like to talk about this next little block of code? Next three lines.
URL is really included. Somewhere else.
So what
it's doing is it's saying, go ahead, express, and use body parser to take the URL and code it in the extended format. So that's just a setting of the coding. All right. Let's see. Luis, what's the next line? Line 8. So it starts the server listening at port 3002. Okay, very arbitrary number. All right, Derek, what's the next line talking about here?
So that's gonna say when you get a request at localhost 3002 / Jimmy Jams, then it's gonna write to the page profile of Jimmy Jams.
Right, so it's just going to kind of squawk back,
Yeah.
fill out the HTML response with that. All right, now to the meat of this. Chance, would you like to talk about the larger apt-get that we see right here?
Oh, sorry, should we go the whole?
You're gonna have a large chunk here.
Okay.
So basically the rest of it.
All right, this makes me so angry.
14 to 32.
So apt.get, it takes that URL, :operations / personnel / second number, and then it parses it out into variables and creates a fourth variable blank called result. That rec.params is where the magic happens, because that's what takes, I guess params part of body parser.
Params is like we talked about. When you have a GET request, it's usually spelled out in what we call the path of the URL.
Okay.
So add/1/10, that would be the path part, and that would be what we call the parameters.
Okay. So params is that function that grabs that. And then from 21, if operation is add, then, add first and second, that's your else if statement.
Right. Which could also be done how? Anybody?
Switch.
Yeah, switch statement, case statement. Okay.
And line 31 is a result.send, and it sends the result to string, and that just up here says blank unformatted HTML.
Right. It puts it in the body of the response, sends it back, and then the body gets rendered out as HTML. Cool. So, any questions about that right now?
Seems way simpler now.
Yeah, we're trying to do multiple app.get.
Yeah, I was getting real crazy over here. Didn't need to get that crazy.
Because you're always going to have, this is a perfect world application, so it would totally fail if somebody didn't follow the perfect world guidelines. But yes, there's going to be 3 parameters, so you can use it and just grab those variables and do your conditions inside just one app.get. Okay. Any other questions about this?
How many options can you pass to the params? That's a built-in part of the body parser, correct? That's a body parser params right there. How many does it take?
It's going to take the ones exactly that we defined. So it's going to take operation first and second. It's going to expect them to come in that order. So if I put 3,000
And the
slash
parameter
one.
method is just saying take anything and use that term.
Well, it's seeing these as parameters, so it knows its position in the location because we define this position in the path that it's going to be receiving, the endpoint, and so it knows to grab those by the names that we define inside the actual parameters.
I wish one it also knows to break on the phone and the flash so that you can parse the entire thing.
Yeah, it's going to take each piece of that path and it's going to scale it down as operation first, second.
Can you scroll up too?
Sure.
So, which actual line is it from the top that lets us do this?
That lets you parse the.
Yeah, like after the body, is it the URL encoded one?
It's this right here. It's this app.use body parser URL encoded. So it's gonna just expect any URL that comes through needs to be encoded in that format. It's sent through body parser. Then body parser gives us that params ability to define the name for each piece of that tag and then use it as a variable. Or we define it as a variable. Okay, so let's go ahead and stock out this solution to everybody.
Two strings.
Huh?
That was it, 2 strings.
2 strings.
Result has 2 strings. Because when it went through as an integer, it was expecting it to be a status code.
Oh, when you were trying to response is where it was failing. I
I
see.
was saying response, res.send result, and it was an integer.
Yeah.
So it's expecting a status code.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just two string.
Because if you send a 200 or 400 or whatever, yeah, it's a status code. Okay. I thought it was on the request that it was squawking, but it was the response that
Yeah,
was failing. Okay, cool. Alrighty then. So we're slacking that out to everybody. Let's go ahead and just to verify that it is working, you can bring it up in the window, I guess, maybe. Okay, so here's my environment. And here, I think is what it was, but let me start it up first. So we'll fire it up. So firing it up here, node. Okay. Get that started. I don't think we put any squawk back on it, so there we go, 11. Cool. All right. Awesome, huh? So damn useful, too. All right. Okay, cool. Did y'all realize that you can write algebraic formulas into Google search thing and it will actually solve them for you? God, that was so awesome when I was taking college algebra. What's that? Yeah, and that was a long time ago, too. I took college algebra. Okay, cool. All right, just for all the people who are bad at math like me. Okay, so if we want to make sure that everybody kind of understands how this works, I mean, maybe you don't have 100%, deep understanding of it, but you understand how this works and why it works. Everyone is kind of at that point, right?
I think only for myself that I say yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's very important that we understand Express before we jump into something like Handlebars, because it's entirely what I consider kind of simple templating language. But if you don't understand how it's tied in and how the actual server is sending and receiving things, then kind of some of its meaning will get a little lost. Okay, so it's important to kind of understand the basics of the meat and potatoes, as it were, of Express. Okay, all right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a piece of SQL. Everyone can take a look at. Opened it like that. Okay, that's fine. All right, so here's some SQL. Let's see, John, can you tell me what this would do?
It's going to make a database called the Wizard Schools DB. We're going to select that database for use. We're going to create a table within that database called schools.
Yes.
We've got a ID that's an integer that will auto increment. Got a name that has a 30-character limit that cannot be null, and ID is going to be our primary key. And then into that schools table, we're going to add an entry with the name value of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft. Do the same for whatever that says. Do the same for Durmstrang Institute, and the same for Bobaton's Academy of Magic.
Bobaton?
Sibideox. All right, cool. All right, so we know what this would do. It would create us a database with a single table. Put some. These are all J.K. Rowling Schools of Magic, right?
I think so.
Okay. I don't see any like.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
There's like Scarlet Woman Lodge, up there, right? Okay, cool. Yes. All right, so we know what that means. That's a good sign. Moving on, let's take a look at some other stuff that this particular one is going to show us. So if I ran that, and I did already, it would create that table for me. Then the next thing that I would want to do is let's take a look at the JS behind this Magic Schools. All right, so opening up the JS, let's take a look here. All right. So here we have the server.js, the main meat and potatoes of this. And let's go ahead and run this in the terminal as well. So move this over here and get us a terminal. Control C. And let's go to, okay, so I've already run npm install, so it's already installed all the node modules that this project needs, which, as you can tell, it does actually require a few right there, okay? Express and MySQL, all right? Two that we've already worked with. And so if I run my Node Magic Schools, and I will now bring it up in the browser. And it returns Magic Schools. How cool is that, right? So the HTML that we're seeing here, this ID1, ID2, ID3, is actually being created in our application right here. We can actually see that we have a select statement that will get us the data set. And then we're building a variable called HTML. And what are we doing? We're adding tags to that HTML. So every time we're doing something, we're appending something. Plus equals, add a UL. Then we open up this for loop, right? And what we're doing is we're iterating over each of these schools and adding to the HTML a list item for each one, okay? Then once that loop is done, we're closing the HTML, or we're closing our unordered list by adding that, and then just packaging up our HTML variable and including that in the response. Okay, so pretty simple, all right? And this is kind of how we have been, this is similar to what we've already been doing with these particular things, okay? So information is being taken from the MySQL database, loop through, and we're given HTML syntax, all right? And it does appear that it does some basic styling. Of course, we know that that is just the user agent that's doing that, right? Right? The user agent? Does everyone remember the user agent? I don't have to go into another dissertation about the DOM, do I? All right. Great. I'm glad you feel better. So let's just take a look at the top of this. We have a little bit of error correcting. We have our database settings and our dependencies, okay? So pretty straightforward, all right? But what this allows us to do is to really grab that data from our database, all right? So there's all that stuff that I had set up with that SQL inject that I ran. If I run, and I did run, but I already did before the class started, but run that SQL, create that database. Those are the connection parameters that I need, okay? So let's go ahead and Slack this out to everybody. And let's take a look at another piece of SQL for our next assignment, our next student due assignment. All right, so very similar to last time, we have a piece of SQL. All right. So take a look at this SQL and let me know, does anybody see any potential problems here in this SQL?
The database and the table are the same. No. Do you see where the problem? It's just a single error.
Someone whistled at me.
No column doesn't ever to sort out the data, so I'm just going to shove into the database. No particular.
But that's not. ID, name, coolness,
Okay, sorry.
attitude. There's actually just a little typo here. Okay, so damn it, Ahmed. There it says. What's that? The syntax. There's just a little syntax here. Okay, so it says use database Seinfeld. You don't need that database part. So that shows how these little SQL things can be pretty easy to stumble upon and do incorrectly. Like just looking at it, you go, yeah, that's right. Use database. Create database, use database. It just makes sense. No, it's just use Seinfeld. Okay. So if I run this SQL with that little correction, it will create a database called Seinfeld with 5 columns. Okay, and then we're putting in some starting information before Gary, Elaine, Kramer, and George. Okay. Does anybody love Seinfeld in here? Yes, you all should. That's what they say. Everyone should love Seinfeld. Because he's a doofus, apparently. Okay. It's kind of cool. It's like you learn about literature and you realize that all this shit that's being written for you is meant to go the way your brain wants to receive it. You know, you have this 4 characters, 4 prophets, 4 apostles, 4 beings. You know.
12 apostles, right?
No. Sorry, 4 books of the Bible, 4 Gospels. Okay.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
I haven't been to church in a long time. Not since the whole burning holy water stigmata.
This really needs to be video. Audio isn't enough.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so given what we've kind of discussed here, what we're going to do now is we're going to create this Seinfeld application. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run it so we can just kind of see how it runs in the browser. So if I open up Bash again, my current operation, and go to the folder, Seinfeld app, and I've already created the database, so I've done the SQL inject. I've run npm, so it's giving me my node modules folder that we see down there. So I can actually node server.js to launch this application. And connected. All right. So what I can do now is go to some of the endpoints that we have. So this particular app has some endpoints like /cast. Okay. And it's just going to return, just like before, a list of all the stuff that's in our database. We also have the ability to hit an endpoint called coolness chart. And it will actually order our characters by their coolness value, okay? And then there's one last thing that we can do where we can actually bring up an attitude, whoops. We can bring up an attitude chart. Or do maybe an attitude search by saying relaxed, for instance. And it will return whoever in our database has the attitude of relaxed, which of course is Jerry. He's very relaxed, right? I don't know. He was basically neurotic, right? Okay, they were all, I mean, I guess he was relaxed compared to everybody else. It's relative. Yeah. Like, that's relaxed for New York. One thing was cool, I was in Brooklyn and I went to the park and everyone was grilling. And you ever go to the park in Texas and see people grilling? Or the grills in the parks?
Oh, yeah.
There's like one here and then like 1,000 feet over there, there's like another one, right? And if you notice, they angrily look at each other too. Like, if 2 people barbecuing, smoke's getting on my meat. But in Brooklyn, they're just like all in a line. Like their stuff's swordfish is touching baby corns and all this shit. I'm like, man, this is cool, but it would never fly in Texas.
We just have more space.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot more space. It's true. And what a weird smorgasbord of smoke. There's so many different ethnic kind of grilling going on there. It's just kind of right up into someone's apartment. Whoosh. In the Dumbo. Millions of dollars on. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and start on the Seinfeld app. Let's go ahead and slack out the instructions. So there's going to be a few steps to this, all right? So we're going to have to create a database, all right? And we are, well, it's going to be probably easy for you guys because you're looking at the SQL. All right. All right, so we're going to create this database called Seinfeld_DB, and it has an actors table. The actors table will have a column for ID, a name, coolness chart, and an attitude. Add in 4 actors with different names, coolness points, and attitudes. They don't have to be the 4 core characters either. Go for an obscure one, like The was it like a sleep farter or something like that?
Sid Fargus. Sid Fargus, he sold furniture.
No, what was the girl that she would fart on him or something? When she was spending the night? I don't know. She was called the sleep, but they always had a nickname for all the girls that Jerry dated. You know, the sleep farter. I think that was one. Or something like that. Maybe I'm just thinking of my own life. So this node application is going to use Express, MySQL, and Body Parser with 3 Express routes. 1 for /cast, 1 for /coolness chart, and 1 for /attitude chart : ATT, which will be the coolness or the attitude that the user selects.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm getting another shot as well. Look at you sticking with what you know. I regret this.
Yeah, quit using a PC. Be an individual with your MacBook Air. Come in 4 colors. To show your individuality. Are you a red or a green? What? It works essentially the same.
Actually run
3 O's.
Well, I thought it was.
Oh. Looks like it's trying to act like that's a keyboard. Let me double check that I didn't do it. I thought I did it that way as well. Then I would continue to do that. Where'd it go?
Oh, would you look at that, huh? Bless you.
We've already created the table. Drop it. Try to run the insert statements. That'll give you a good idea whether you can table set up correctly.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, this is a partner assignment too. So come on, you guys weren't really like treat everything like a partner thing, right? Yeah. Everything today is partners do, or everybody do. Partners do.
Oh no, that's just to say that I can.
Yes. And without ID,
Okay.
Number.
Mine's already pre-made. Sit on the heat line. Just waiting to have jalapenos dropped on it.
Getting funny.
Correct.
Mr. Dan Summers in the building. Hey, Holly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now's the chance. The bed's right over there.
No. No, I'm just messing with you. She's trying to get some.
Tenor here. Take it right. Tenor? Oh, he's TA on that class? Oh, he's on summer break.
I heard what you said. Yeah, I guess so.
It's like, most websites you build,
Yeah. Literally, as I was saying, Tanner, I got a lot of jokes for that.
Do you sing it? Do you ever sing Largo's? Yeah, Largo. Largo.
That was actually too high.
Was it Largo or Largo? There's one that it's like, obviously I'm not going around spelling names, but there's one that's really good. It's Largo that I really like. It's a fight scene.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Good stay. Yes. Are they always in Italian, or do you do ones in German as well?
German, French.
I was like
German opera.
It's
Violent.
Russian. They're a lot in Russian. Those are. You like people that want to know, like I heard.
So are you ever gonna get back in and do some hip operas?
You Google that,
No, yeah.
Or just takes that many years to create.
Feel it. I'm understanding that process.
So, you want to set up, you know,
I don't know how to bring it back. Oh no, well, it's all everything else that you've done is saved. Like, all the oh yeah. And you said you already inserted. You did insert that. Oh, you could do all. What are you doing?
Same.
That would be some good place for
Skinny pants.
We'll run it and see what
All right, how's it going? Everybody working through this one?
Any problems?
Okay, too. That's impressive. She's like holding a wine glass. Yeah.
a second. I saw it do it. Like, you're like one step away from an X-Men if you can do that. It's not. Sorry. Hey, how's it going? We'll just gather them all up.
Come on, let's go.
How you been? How you been? You hurt your back? Powerlifting? Mm-hmm. Powerlifting, yeah. Girl. I thought I found the name of the Largo that I was thinking of. It's Nisi. That's what it's called. Nisi Dominus. Nisi, N-I-S-I. Yeah. It's Vivaldi. It's actually a really good one. I'll send it to you. Sometimes I get all opera like. They played and it's really awesome. See Inspector. Best 18 movie is like Pulitzer, the slow motion. So Robert just goes for versatility. Okie dokie. So how's it going, everybody? It's working? You got it done? Awesome. Anybody else got it done? Oh, okay. But you got one of the deals. Yes.
Yes. Run the Jerry.
If you build one, you can build the rest, right? Yes. It has a /cast, which is the one that you already did, right? A coolness chart, which just basically lists them in values of coolness descending. Yeah. And then the one that allows them to go attitude chart / and then put an attitude, like relaxed, and it will return whoever has it.
Oh, it's because AC. So that's over. Let's get real now. What we can.
Can't shake hands, because I'm already shaking hands.
So do you have another running process?
So bring up the. Did you bring up the book?
Just to make sure it's
Okay, what's the endpoint that you have, Brack?
Boom! So you're just getting a squawking, that's like a warning, okay? It may not be entirely related to node or results, could be looking more at line as well. So what, are you using community? SQL, which SQL flavor?
Yeah, that is not a function.
So the community server,
Yeah.
community server and Workbench, yeah.
Oh.
But the actual service is Workbench just lets you work with the server. It's actually the community server that's running the SQL. So maybe some, if you can you slide me, can you highlight and copy that?
So I have to make
It's amazing.
HTML. Also this auto. That part, yes. That part,
Yeah, sometimes it's like you see these ugliest little things that are popping up, and it's all angry, and then but it's still working. So you're like,
Okay. Like we, at the beginning of the day, we preset all of our things we're gonna ask in like Google Translate, and it was fine, but as soon as somebody asked us a question,
no. Start back at the beginning.
we're just gonna point at this part. No,
I like the thing that it translates signs. I think that's pretty cool.
Joey, oh, sorry. Holly's got you.
I'm glad I did it. I would never go, I would never travel.
Yep, there's a reason everyone runs around with masks on in China. It's very polluted.
We were there for Chinese New Year, and
Oh, wow.
they didn't do fireworks because
It's already,
the pollution was so
yeah.
bad. And also, like last year in Shanghai, there was like a big heat and a few people died.
Oh, okay. Never forget. One kind of thing. Interesting.
Then we found somebody, and it was a father. So the one that it has is the bottom.
Oh, there's no bottom, it's just, it was split pan.
So just straight down his back, that's what was going multiple. And if there was a problem, my kid going to the bathroom outside, like this is in the park in Shanghai. Photo opportunities, just like, well, take a dump right there.
Yeah, we were at a really nice like shopping.
And they have closed sewers in Shanghai, obviously. Right? It's not like open sewers. Yeah, open sewers I can understand. Just go out there and drop it right in the sewer. Why not?
So that was what they were familiar with.
Woo.
The reference point was like,
A lot of people, like, it's just a lot of like, big folks that are really, you know, the shit.
yeah. Shanghai as well.
They have some cities there that just in the past like 3 years they've gone from 100,000 people to like 5 million or 7 million just because like they built one of those Foxconn type big huge.
Shanghai, they're taking us to the silk factory. This is just a small store. It's like 6 to 8 million.
That's too many damn people.
I'm debugging silently.
You need like a fuzzy white
while
cat.
it's happening. Next time.
Layers upon layers.
Oh my god. That's the bullshit. What's the next battery case? Oh, that's it. That's so great. Wait, what? It can't be a long time.
Ages.
Oh, shit, makes myself.
All right. Let's take a second to discuss this application. Take a look at how it was built. In 1 second. Yep.
Spell it up with the word.
It's like, yeah, go something.
Blah blah blah. Ends in blah 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 blah. Pain.
Did you watch a lot of Animaniacs or something?
I did. I can even do a Pinky impersonation, I think. I think it's one of the ones I used to be able to do. But I kind of have to hear it first. But I think it's something like, what would I do today, boy? No.
All right, hold on. I gotta pull this up.
It's been a while since I heard it. It helps to hear it. What would I do today, boy? No. No.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Try to take over.
I always felt that Brain was, if they did a live action Pinky and the Brain, Sam Neill would be an awesome Brain.
That part Jurassic Park was I'm not gonna be here. Like trying to
Oh, that
pick up
guy.
the spirits of the little kid. And then, I think I'll take my chance with dinosaurs.
God, this children were-
Captain Event Horizon over here.
Oh, man.
He's like nothing but creepy. You ever seen one called In the Mouth of Madness?
In the mouth, I've not.
Excellent movie. Very, very Lovecraftian.
Okay, so let's take a look at this app and kind of review. Did they go for break yet, Rob? She has. Let them know when we go. Okay, so we're both waiting on each other here. All right, so let's take a look at this, review this, and then we'll talk about one more thing, and then we'll head off to our break time. All right, so getting into the actual Seinfeld app, we have our node modules. We created our database. We ran the SQL, created our database, added in the data to start with. Then we've installed all of our node packages. Go ahead and run the thing, and we run server.js. So let's take a look at server.js first. All right, where we're at. Okay, so like before, we are going after our dependencies first. Express is our dependency, and then we are setting the Express app to app. Okay, so moving on. Lisa, would you like to tackle the next part, lines 5 through 12?
So what we're doing here is connecting to our SQL. So first we have to require the npm package, and then we create a new connection, and we just have to make sure our settings match whatever we actually used to create it in MySQL.
Yep. Okay, Lee, would you like to do lines 14 through 21?
Yeah, we'll call the MySQL database that we created,
Mhm.
throw an error if it can't connect, and then it will show us that we are connected to the console log. And you said 21 or 31?
Down to 21. You got it.
Okay.
I think you got it. Covered it right. Okay, let's have. Ooh, that's a long one. Let's have Ben, our key guy. Can you go ahead and take a shot and tell me what's happening between lines 23 and 43?
Yes.
Yeah, just give it a shot.
So you're getting the URL, the tab.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna give you the function where your characters are gonna be in order by ID, and then you have a variable with HTML where it's gonna give you it's gonna say on the browser actors ordered by ID. Then you have HTML with the UL.
Wait, what's going to happen here on line 26?
26?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just your variable HTML.
Okay, so it's like the placeholder.
Yeah, it's a placeholder, yeah. So HTML plus equal UL, that's it's going to be an unordered list, right?
So what does the plus equal do?
The plus equal adds it.
So it keeps adding stuff to the HTML variable, right?
And then the for loop, the loop through your database, the results. And so it's going to give you the HTML, which is your unordered list, with the list, in the list, P, you're going to have the ID, and then it's going to have your result and the number of the ID of your first. Well, I guess it's the order of the loop. But,
yep. So inside this P tag.
Yeah. Then your second one's going to have the name.
Mhm.
And then the third one's going to have the toolist point.
Yep.
And then the next one's going to have the attitude.
Yep. And then what is the final thing that it's doing here on these last two lines?
It's closing it out.
Yep. So it's closing the UL, and then it's actually packaging it all up, putting it in the response, sending it out, right?
And then it's sending it into the
That's right. Very good. All right. So moving on down the line a little bit here. Let's finish reviewing this application real quick, and then we'll go on break. Where did my mouse go? There it is. All right. So let's have John. Would you like to review for us lines 45 through 65?
More than anything. So this is
That's what I'd like to hear.
the URL ending in coolness chart.
Yep.
We're going to take everything from that actors table ordered by coolest points descending. We are going to add the header actors by coolness to the HTML variable. We're going to open up a unordered list. We're going to loop through all of our result, formatting that into HTML with the ID name, coolness points, and attitude all prettied up. We're going to close our unordered list, and then we're going to send that whole thing to the browser.
So basically, similar to what we just did. And then last function of this application, let's go ahead and have Hector. Would you like to explain lines 67 through 87? Okay.
Query,
I didn't hear colon.
colon, attitude, dash card, slash, colon.
What does that signify?
What is it?
This the colon in this case.
It's a parameter.
Parameter that is.
I think that's included.
All right.
All right, so you're gonna do like start from active, right, equals question mark, so you're gonna put in your attribute pattern in there, spit out, blah, 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 start doing your HTML, list, all the different things, close it out, and then spit it out. You want to go into more detail?
No, I think you covered it clearly. All right. So what we see here is the last function of this application, but we're not done yet. What do we have to do at the last line, Louise?
You have to set your 3,000 and set it up to listen.
That's right. Very good. Okay, let's slack out this to everybody, this solution. And then before we go break, I just wanted to touch on one point about SQL. Okay, SQL is great, but it's also dangerous, right? We can understand why business logic like this might be dangerous, right? So, would you want to include SQL inside your HTML? No, right? Later, what we're talking about today, we're going to work our way into using HTML templating, okay? But we don't want to put our query string into our HTML. What are some reasons why we wouldn't want to do that? Security is a good one, yeah. What about don't repeat yourself? Every time that something changes or something updates, you have to go into multiple places, touch all those little templating files. What we need is a better way that we can just poke through and just grab the variables and have them set up in our template, okay? And that's going to lead us into handlebars after the break, okay? So let's go ahead and start a break. All right, and feel free to intermingle with the new class. I think we're both on break at the same time, right? There we go. Has concluded already? It's concluded already?
No, there's been like 2 or 3 minutes in the break.
2 or 3 minutes. Make it count. How you doing, man? Good, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you, man.
How's life?
It's good, actually. Yeah. Things are going pretty well right now. Busy, as always, but good.
How's the job?
I like my new job. I really do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're about a month in now? Like a month and a half?
Yeah, about a month and a half. Any job that is 100% work from home has a high.
Yeah, there's high probability of enjoying that job.
I was at this dinner. In fact, I was at a dinner on Saturday night with birthday parties, and there was a woman I was sitting across from who told me she was a recruiter for Google here in Austin, for developers here in Austin. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I'm a developer. She's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So she started sending me out, and I asked about my job, and I was like, oh yeah, it's 100% work from home. She goes, oh, okay, well.
I can't really.
I don't talk to people because I can't really do anything better than that, even at Google. Hey man, how are you?
How are you?
Good to see you. I was hoping you'd be here today.
Yes, sir. You what are you doing?
I got a little bit of time later. Yeah.
All right.
I think my wife will let me take a little time.
All right.
Hopefully.
It's definitely in connect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys heading over to the?
I don't know if we had a spot in mind. Yeah, I don't think we have a spot yet.
I mean, the close is good.
Let's do it.
The
The
last
one
place
we
was-
went to with the bowling. Yeah, that was great.
Seemed to work out
The night after, right? Or
A good night.
Yeah, good night. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, cool. Great. Cool.
Awesome.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. How are you doing? Yeah, I did. Well,
Okay.
UI architect.
Okay.
It's 100% work. Yeah. Yeah. Someone were Austin. It was when I was 18 and 18 dashboard. So they're like an agnostic cloud service company. So they'll do Amazon or and Azure and Google and everything all in one. And so they have these dashboards and build custom things for their people to use all that stuff. So they can compare Amazon, Azure, different qualities, different product lines. So just building out dashboards and that kind of stuff.
Hey,
Pretty cool.
Wally. Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was up at really good.
We were not. I think I don't change it.
Got it. Hey.
How you doing? Good to see you. We're gonna go grab our 15-minute dinner. See you again.
We'll chat this week about,
Did you do anything? No, just if you. So now it's getting spread out.
What's going on? What's 50? Gotcha. Yeah. Right on, man.
Nice. Hey, you come to us now. I know you kind of met.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Ahmed.
Hi, Ahmed. Nice to see you.
Yes, you're problematic. How's it going for you guys?
Yeah, 14. This is way?
Yeah. 13 is pretty bad. I guess, truthfully, I feel like at this point, it's all down. I want to say like better.
Downhill?
I have some friends that are devs, and I was just like, when did you feel like you got it? And they were just like, no, I spent 80% of my job being okay. You're good at what you do, and you feel that way anyway.
You guys are getting to it. You guys got it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. One more hard part. Yeah. That's critical.
I feel like you're dangling a carrot in front of me. It's like, this is the hard part. But once you get there, then once we're there, it's like, actually, there's one more hard part.
I'm looking back. They gotta say one.
Actually, that's when we were kind of reminiscing earlier, and it's just like, you know, especially with the new cohort, you know, starting. Do you remember when
We do not.
When we do that,
Really what I do.
You're not in town, are you? Where are you? You're in Rutgers.
Yeah. My class is graduate. Yep, I'm so excited.
your other class, is it the same piece or like same timing and stuff too? Like across 6 months? Yeah.
And how many, that class, how many times have you done that? This one that's right down. Oh, yeah.
That's why it's like, it's really fast to see that. I mean, the little stuff like.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So,
But some of the PhD programs,
Yeah.
you know, stuff there.
Yeah.
I always find that in here, it's like web connecting my devices. It's like,
No.
that's like the wrong way to learn. Very time consuming for your process.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not using that. And then where
Now, when it comes to something that I heard that,
maybe just try to. Yeah. We're trying.
you know where's good.
I'll be here 2 weeks.
I was talking about these last year. You really have the last line. I'm like, okay.
At least he's telling you that.
Yeah, right?
Can't say.
Like kind of things like big companies, like you know how like you know, you can save with somebody tries to
Yeah, dude, that's the way. What about you guys? What was the last 2 weeks or?
The easy part.
The easy part.
Yeah.
Or we just chill.
The skater is, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Whimsical PhDs.
That's awesome, man.
He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of extra variables.
What's going on? Yeah, I think something's going on, man. Can't argue with that. What are you looking about? Yeah.
RC, Paul doesn't, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of just doing this done as like the test case, you know. Like they had 3 more months to get their shit together. Like, just how much better for the camp spot is going to be for them than it was for us when we started this series.
When everybody else is.
Like now the kids, not getting much attention anymore. JB's wearing a suit. Yeah, I hope that's not the case. Yeah, that'd be something to share. It's one of my dudes.
So, yeah, so it's like,
Yeah, it's very exciting. I've never taken it.
so now you
At this
understand.
point, like, I think I've achieved my quota for the year.
And you can,
Last winter was so, I loved it. This time.
So we're not actually getting closure?
We went ahead and got the rail.
Yeah.
It's like, so worth it.
Yeah, they're sure it's okay.
I do, yeah, I tried to. Usually, like lately, I had.
It's so trash. Now it's a work. Not even.
Yeah. We're just like trying to, okay, this is an adventure, this is different, and then this is like, yay, I can drink the water, great. Everyone's really nice.
Yeah, they pull out the amendment, but I don't, maybe you should.
Yeah.
We can take less time. It was like that first yeah, which I feel like
Yeah.
would be pretty useful already.
Right.
Like I would use fire base
And like, there wasn't even a light. It was just us. It was like some guy was like right, like fetching, and it was like, yeah, nobody's pushing you. You're next. That's just how they're treated. Yeah,
That's fine.
It's not exactly what was advertised as before we got.
I never even realized just the scale of it. Like, I didn't see pictures. Like just being like you're in that.
Yeah, that's what I don't really care.
We're still here.
Yeah.
You did good enough, because I will have achieved that goal. Yeah.
They're at the one that they share. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of strange though. Like there's certain things that it's like look, the trains, like, you know, for all the things that
Knowing that what you do.
very organized, you know, I'm not people like this.
Yeah.
It's like, I think he's pretty stable properly where it's like, and it's stable, like, there's two
But yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, we also have a nice message to tell you guys. It's just like, okay, there's too many like visual words. Like Japan though has them like I know exactly what to do here because there are a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But I think my favorite like accidental like thing that happened though was it's fried dumplings. But the bigger thing is like like soup dumplings where you like stick the straw inside and then like so it's just like okay, well take it inside. There's just a bunch of umbrellas around. Just umbrellas on the ground and like those. Meanwhile, look at it just stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
So we settled into a tall carriage, and it's knowing that it's just like, oh my daughter, all right, yeah, exactly. Marry her. Oh, yeah. And, you know, that kind of, yeah. And so for us, like everyone thought that we were there to marry her.
So,
He married from the market, but they, yeah, well, I mean, they-
Is that okay? That doesn't even make sense. That really makes no sense. Girl. Do you honestly see that happening when it goes
All of our CSA.
Yeah. So you were the one person that on that huge survey we did.
Yeah.
Answered every question. No, so there's any state that says that you would not
They
do
did,
that.
right? Like, that's the part, like, way to address it.
So
One of the like, things they did for,
this
you know,
24-week course, you get some.
crowd control, the pollution control is like, so the shrines are especially, so shiny years. And, so like, we wanted to go to a shrine. Basically, the taxi cabs, they'll limit which ones can go to the shrine on which day. So it's like, if your license plate is an odd number, then you can go on this day. How enforcement is, I don't know. I mean, we kind of kept it.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
As soon as she found out that we wanted to. And we did, they had the people that were.
Hammer and nail. Throw them into the bonfire. You know, this is actually learning all this. Yeah. I don't like that's too quick. Sometimes I wish I had better time management skills. That's what I do with things Saturdays. Like, get done what I want to get done. But I don't think that, I don't think the speed is the problem. I think it's maybe the opposite. We're choosing to focus on very specific portions of everything.
Yeah, there's
Just
like, they're known for their big
ridiculous for them. And we're not in any way changing.
Like this. Which one's on the I thought it's funny, but like it's
Sort of like a broad overview. What we needed to finish the project that I had to look at myself and broad overview. I'd rather keep a broad overview, but yeah, Rob and
decided that he was going to start land.
I don't remember what it was.
Made like around it, yeah, and has like that hands a tent and he plays his radio on so that people or something like that.
I'm okay with the things though.
I guess if the town is deserted, you are allowed to take whatever you want. Haggling.
Anyway, so running things up at this point, actually, we haven't started shooting.
Well, somebody told us it was just like, we're like, whenever we like offer you the first time, we got it by 80%, and if you weren't from there, it's like, that's great. Especially sometimes, the price is just like, you know, it's like, this is such a throwaway amount, but you still have to play the game, or else they get and then one of our, or two of our group members is a scorpion on the scorpion on his dad. I think even goes.
Yeah, I've been talking to
It's still a bug. It's already a bug, and then you keep trying it.
What exactly is your job though?
So I mean, it's like.
Mixed bag. Like, because some people, they try really hard.
Yeah. You wanna try again?
I think our biggest language needed it. A lot of restaurants, like a lot of places actually closed.
Really big on self-teaching.
Because everyone's going off the phone.
Yeah, you just gave it to me. Yeah, you just did it.
My handle 3 times.
We were not. Like market. You meet over here. Right? Okay, so like, did I just translate that thing and showed it to them and
There's one,
I'm like, had this like big, this half, a little bit. Really terrible charades game. And she even tried to like.
Did you see that?
Just behind the curtain.
I was literally less than a foot away from that. That's you're too close. Yeah, not that bad.
Like just that. Like we're just gonna point to it. I don't care how many pounds it is. Give us that flyer.
Did you see that though?
No.
No, I just tried to slide it into the trash can. It flipped
But
into
then
the
we
air.
realized
It
that
flipped off the trash can. I landed like 3 feet away.
They don't know what pounds.
I didn't even throw it. I just had to
They're
drop it
on
off.
a different metric system. And we have no idea which version of pound we're, you know, it's just like lunch meat. What pounds are we referring to? No, no, we were trying to like literally like would like press pound of meat.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what to do.
You might have looked at, I don't know.
100% of the things we
But this one is.
no.
That's still the wrong one.
Ooh, it's nice and frosty in this room today. I like it.
Lots of work.
Do we have to pay for that?
Is that why? Is it just that's just how it is now? Christmas time, obviously. Oh yeah,
Flowing
prime
into
number,
it,
prime
yeah.
number. So to get correct while you're training, that basically means. Yeah, if they find me. Same thing with the metro too. When the bus drivers, they just get one accident, one little bit, you know. Done. And they want to drive the bus again. Ugh. Okay. Let's take a look at our first handlebar app now. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is our first Handlebars application that we're going to be taking a look at. So I'm going to wrap this and let's get started. So very similar to what we did last time. We're still going to be using Express the same way that we've been using it so far in the last few classes. Okay, but now we're going to have this templating language that we're adding in. Okay, so that's right. It's another dependency. Okay, and so from the top we see that we're requiring Express, creating our main app, and then we're requiring Express Handlebars. Okay, then we're telling Express that you now have an app engine. Okay, or an engine, Handlebars, and we're giving it some settings, default layout, main. Okay, so if we take a look at our folder structure here, we'll see the way this project is set up on the actual local hard drive. And if we take a look at our folder under there called Views, oops, clicked the wrong one. We take a look at Views, we'll see that it has a index.handlebars file and a all-lunches.handlebars file. And then in the layouts directory is our main.handlebars. So there is probably our main layout right there, okay? So if we take a look at that particular file, we'll see that all we have is a kind of empty HTML page, okay? The only thing of note here is that it has this body inside of this triple curly bracket, okay? What was that? What is that? Good question. I'm glad you asked. Those are handlebars or mustaches or...
Oh, I get it. That's so funny.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together there. But yes, that I didn't tell you guys that it's named after that because the curly bracket kind of looks like handlebars.
That's great.
All right. Okay, so as I said before, we're using Express. We're sending data to the back end and back to the front end. But unlike other applications, we have this view engine, which will provide an application called Handlebars. And so Handlebars is basically a templating language, okay? And it's called a semantic templating language. That just means that it reads like how we would say it, okay? If we have name, then there's just a triple curly bracket with name in there or something like that, right? Okay. So it's considered somewhat of a framework for JavaScript and HTML. So frameworks like this are very useful because we use them as a replacement. So we're not building these long strings of HTML within our JavaScript code anymore with this plus equals, plus equals, plus equals, and line after line of HTML. Fairly costly operation there. But we're actually providing a simpler method through which we can dynamically create and then fill these HTML elements, okay, with whatever the corresponding data that we get back from our database through the Express API, okay? So let's take a look at the Handlebars website, and I'm going to go ahead and Slack that out to everybody. It's handlebarjs.com, and I'll send that in the Slack channel. And if you take a look at this site, I'm not going to go deep into looking at the site, but it becomes very apparent quite quickly that Handlebars is very simple, okay? It has very simple to read syntax without really understanding Handlebars at all. You could probably take a look at this and guess what a lot of this stuff does, okay? So in our learning of Handlebars, if we encounter issues and we know where to go, we can go to this Handlebar.js and start to read some of the documentation, some of the examples that they have here. Yes, Hector, did you have a question? Just drilling holes in me with those icy eyes. Yes.
And if you're using that in this demonstration, use double brackets as opposed to triple brackets?
That's a good question. So the triple bracket syntax is basically a way of saying whatever's inside here is going to be handled as HTML tags. Okay? Good question. So we're going to get to all that in just a second. Let me just do a little more intro here. Okay, so if we take a look at some of the syntax that we see here on the site, we'll see that Handlebars gives us the ability to pass the backend variables to the front end HTML, okay? So we can simply include the name of a variable that we want to send from the server inside a double set of curly brackets within your front end code. So when you see this double, it's meant to be a value, okay? There's just a few strangeties, oddities that exist within Handlebars that are kind of first time you ever touch it gotchas, okay? One of the big ones is that there's a required file path for the framework, okay? And that required file path is exactly how we were looking at the folder structure here. So it needs to have this views directory underneath the root of the project. So this is going to contain all our handlebar files, and then it also will have to include a layouts folder. And the layouts folder contains the main.handlebars file, okay? All the files which contain handlebars inside of them must be saved with this .handlebars file extension, okay? Go ahead and associate it with your Sublime, and half of them will render out in the good colors and everything, okay? So some of the stuff that's more template-y won't. All right. Let's take a look at the server JS behind this one. So within our declaration of the view engine, we're basically telling them that our default layout is going to be this main file, okay? This tells the server that the main.handlebar files contains the primary layout for HTML, main.handlebars. So if we take a look at main.handlebars, what we looked at already, and we take a look at index.handlebars, okay? So all this is doing is basically saying everything in main is going to tell us, hey, here comes a bunch of HTML stuff that we want to render out as HTML, whatever is going to fit into the body here, okay? So this is kind of our main wrapper template, which is kind of commonplace. If it was C#, they would call it a master page, okay? And then what we have is a kind of nested templating system, okay? So the outer template, everybody gets that, right? And then we start to delegate our different pieces of code to different templates, and those can be contained within that master template, all right? And then if we take a look at the other one, which simply has lunch, okay? What do you think this is going to do? Anybody got an idea of what this might do? Joey, can you guess what that's going to do? It's going to look for a variable lunch, probably within the data that Express is getting after we have the request, right?
I do have a question though. The main.handlebars is an HTML file. This one's plain text.
Is it? Oh, you're just talking about how it looks? Yeah, that's what I said. So because this one actually has the doc type declaration and everything, so Sublime is recognizing it as an HTML file. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that some files you're going to open and it's just going to be all blank, or whatever your default settings are. I'm pretty sure there's a way to add that as a file type, right? I mean, is there? There's a package extension, yeah. So most of these have extensions that will allow you to, you know, accept a different file type if it's not one of the ones that comes by default. A lot of times I just have gotten used to it, that most of my template files, at least that are not whole files, they'll just kind of be not all neon color files. Any other questions? Okay, we're going to get into using this right away. So your questions will be answered through doing, which is what we love to do, right? Wolf punching, okay? All right. As I said before, the main.handlebars just contains a single declaration, okay? It just has this triple bracket body, okay? Triple bracket tells our program to read and render HTML elements, while the double brackets will not, okay? So if we did actually have some actual HTML that we were sticking inside of those brackets, instead of just trying to draw up a data value, then that's when we use our triple brackets, okay? So when we actually have some template stuff that contains HTML. So if it was just name, then we would do double bracket name. But if it was H1 and then name inside of that, then we would want to have it render it all out. Or else it might render Like the brackets on the H1, it would render them as ampersand LT less than, it would do that kind of what we saw when we didn't have proper encoding. Okay. Let's see, what else? Anything else to cover about this? So the main handlebars code, like I said, it uses that triple brackets because we're going to be passing in other handlebar components into it using statements like response.render index lunches and then an array number. Okay. Let's take a look at index. Go back to index here. Okay, so it's taking the variable lunch and it's placing it in a pair of H1 tags. Okay, this is happening before it's sending that response, right? And so this stuff is going to get packaged up and included in the body of our response. And then the rest of it kind of runs the same as any other express operation that we've done so far. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to slack out a zip file of all of these files needed to create this particular project. All right. I want everyone to work as partners. Go ahead and open it up, set it up, get it running, and try to help explain to each other what's actually going on in each of these lines of code. But we can.
That's my goal.
So this use that Handlebars website. It's pretty helpful, I'd say. There was a fair amount of apprehension that Handlebars would be difficult, but I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to find Handlebars to be quite refreshing. Actually, they're pretty simple. Huh? Yeah. You might enjoy the ride. Don't worry, it's free. Giddy up. So as you're reviewing these files, go ahead and start with looking over the main and index that we already talked about. Once you kind of have started to discuss and understand main and index, then move on to all lunches. Okay, try to take a look at that template and see if you can understand what's going on there.
Oh, express handlebars. Got it. Yeah. Page 7. Yeah, well, that's what goes on. And that's going to just about be on every single one.
It's basically you kind of like these. Like, have you ever taken the little piece of paper and cut up little squares and you lay it over something and let little, you can move it down. Like the old school thing where you could roll the piece of paper in. It's kind of like a template's kind of like that. Yeah, it does. It really does save time because you're not writing out all that stuff. Yeah. You're not building it in JavaScript. You're not building it in HTML. You're one block. If you get to that all lunches.handlebars, take a look at that one. Try to take a look at the each part and try to kind of understand what's going on with each.
I'm gonna get to explaining that, but go ahead and take a look at it. Try to look it up on your own. Yeah, that aha moment, and then I'll come through and reinforce.
All lunches, yeah, that's the one that you should head to once you've taken a look at the other stuff. All lunches.handlebars, the other template. Yeah, it's the last template file that we didn't review. Did someone just whistle at JB when he walked in? Is it because he has a collared shirt? It's kind of disturbing me a little bit.
That's what
I bet yeah, but she's like, oh, and I can't review anything. Like I already know. I just do not study tomorrow after the people that it's really good. Yeah, so just rendering.
I'll get her name for you.
That's what's going on in all legends that handlebar.
Oh, dot handlebar. Let me see if I can find this new person. Is like, Tiffany Dorman. Greenfield Projects. Direct hire, Greenfield Projects. We'll bring our junior, mid, or senior. Oh, I mean, she was at Rock Search. Yeah. I didn't know they had junior stuff at Rock Search, but I guess they do right now. Oh, Chris Blakey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know him well, I do. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like he wasn't even the most exciting.
No. He's such high volume, you know? That's how they are. Yep. Tiffany Dorman. I just assume everyone's British there. Hello, Rock Search. I'll direct your query. I finally got to see Finding Nemo with my son, or Finding Dory. Has anybody seen that? All my single friends saw it before I did. I got kids. You saw it, Michael? Or you got a question?
Okay, so what it does is so we do still have that.
Oh, well, that's
So what I'm always asking
questions.
I did. I focused on that. I didn't realize. So when you're running the app right now, I think it'd be
boom! Shakalaka boom! See what I did there?
So we said,
that's how you know, okay, it is an API. I'm definitely hitting an API. 404, basically.
That's the only thing.
Express is default, but default if you don't, if you hit a bad endpoint, it's going to be either, well, here, it's going to be the 404 base. One of our ones we do altogether, yes, 404, so everything else. Yeah, it's default.
We're here. No, that's what you were asking the question, and then we actually had it on the next.
So I wonder if it just goes to.
So yeah, so if it doesn't have that kind of error correcting, response code correcting, it's just going to say
That'd be essentially a guarantee from the Express side that the APIs.
no. But it would verify that it is running. So if it's like page up now, that means there's nothing running. Sure. We see something say cannot get, and then you know, oh, Express is running. Maybe it's broken and running like that.
It's just like a.
Oh, there's this.
If it tried to get something and it's errored out, provide error. Yeah, so it's not a normal process.
Okie dokie. I was kind of wondering the same thing, but it is more than one lunch.
So you put lunches.
If you put without the ES, you mean? Yeah. It's going to show all of them. It's going to run through and show all of them. No, it errors basically. There's no endpoint lunch. There's an endpoint lunch is, so it'll say cannot get lunch or something like that. As long as your server's running, at least. Okie dokie. So. Okay, so taking a look at the last file that we have not looked at yet, that all of you guys have been dissecting, all lunches.handlebars. Okay. So first thing we see it has a style tag and it has some styles. Okay. All right. So we can do some styling in these templates. Then we have a lunches for eater. Okay. So here is the variable that we're looking for. We'll have the name, right? And then we have this hash each foods, and then this / each. Anyone want to venture a guess of what that does?
Creates LIs.
From why?
Because it has more syntax on it.
Right. What do you think each is doing, basically? What is it creating? A loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's essentially a for loop. For each. For each food, do this until you hit the end of it, right? Okay, cool. Well, that's exactly what it is doing. It is basically the for loop for handlebars. The hash each helper within handlebars is essentially the for loop, and it loops through the array, inserts the values of the array into the HTML code provided. It will do this for however many variables are contained within your array, and appends your HTML instead of replacing. Okay, so those are the qualities of each. There are other helpers, okay? So Handlebars does have other helpers, but we'll be getting to those later on. And of course, you can always preview them by looking at the Handlebars.js website, right? All right, next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to slack out our last activity of the night, which is the Ben and Jerry app, okay? So in this activity, you're going to be creating your own Ben and Jerry app, where users can see all the different flavors Ben and Jerry's have to offer while also getting specific information on a flavor by searching for it within the URL. Okay, so we have this var ice creams. What's that? So we have this var ice creams, this variable that we have inside our code here. We get in on that. There we go. So, okay. As it says, do not use MySQL for this assignment, okay? So essentially, we're using a variable that contains all the objects that we're going to be using for our data of this particular assignment, all right? So
once we just give you this sweet new technology, we might as well rip it away from you. We like to see you cry.
Your tears are sweet. Sweet and salty. Gives me power. All right. Okay, so using handlebars and express, create a route called ice cream / name. When this route is hit, it will display the name, price, and awesomeness for that selected flavor. Also create a route called ice creams and have it loop over the ice creams and display them all in an unordered list or all to the user in whatever fashion you want, okay? So you're building the templates this time, but we're defining the routes that we want you to have in it, okay? So other than that, feel free to ask questions, and this is also partners do. So I want you guys to lean heavily on each other, act like a cohort. The weakest link
What I'm doing is I'm writing everything in there.
needs to be carried along.
Yeah.
Basically, it's saying or all the images and brushes. So it's just giving a default name. So this is very common. Books.
That's what you're saying, it's semantic.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
It's not actually pointing to anything.
It's just it's kind of defining that in each record in whatever. Yeah, lunch thing. Okay. Okay. It's shorthand for food and lunch.
Yeah.
Kind of like how we can set an arbitrary name for the variable when we do for loops too, for x = 1.
Right, yeah.
X doesn't really have any explicit meaning to it. This is much more syntactic. So I told you guys about how my son says usually pay for life.
Yeah.
So you know what he's raging against machines now too? He calls them rage machines, which is a cooler name anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
And
My wife was driving the car and goes, Mom, can you listen to the rage machine? She's all excited. Oh, there's something on here. Oh, I don't care. Just don't rap. It ruins it.
Yeah, that's really hurtful.
The Savage Award for the sick bar.
She's all excited. And
just don't rap, Mom.
Jeez, don't rap, Mom.
Oh, yeah, all the body pressure. So we're gonna do like a.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just keeping mine in there.
Start on good.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. I usually try to avoid like.
Correct.
Something I've heard so often.
Yeah, working from home has been interesting.
So doing multitasking, but weird types of multitasking. Chopping garlic while on a scrum.
You don't even need garlic, you're just chopping.
I was making spaghetti. Under my scrum, spaghetti.
Last Friday we played hooky and went to the lake, and I was like answering emails from the lake. It's awesome. You played poker last night? Oh, man. It worked out really well to work from the lake because I'm so used to not wearing any clothes while I'm working and then just go hippie hollow. It just feels natural.
Those laptop burns though.
Those laptops.
All iPad, my friend. All tablet.
I'm pretty sure I can't have kids anymore.
I was thinking that the other day when I was laying down, I was like, oh, I probably still don't know.
Yeah, I've got this many times over. There was a question about
Well, the police officer sued because the LiDAR gun was giving them tests to their cancer.
Really?
Yeah, because the first thing you do when they pull up and they go set it in their lap, right? Huh?
That doesn't sound like a flaw of the technology.
What did you just say? I heard waterfall snack.
Well, waterfall snack then.
Well, then run me.
Sounds like a good fucking band name. We are waterfall snacks.
Which is good. I
Oh, you gotta install.
Damn it.
Yeah, you need to have slash ice cream slash fruit squish. Yeah. So Spears not giving. It's something. No, but so mind functions. The problem was it's expecting the string to be an object.
I see. Now I got this.
Sweet.
What is the name that they call the festival now?
Sound on sound.
Sound on Sound. Does it still have like wrestlers and taco cannons and all that stuff? First one was Guar. So it was 20. What year was it? I want to say it was like 2014. 1994, I saw Guar. Okay. Jesus.
And then flash forward all those years, and then we see War again.
You know what Guar is?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I don't know why War's not played the Super Bowl yet.
God, that'd be absurd.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be so much better?
There's just literally no chance in hell.
Just in terms of production alone.
Most expensive halftime show. It's somehow.
What was so funny is that
They've seen
20 years, right? 1994 and 2014. 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing had really changed. It's still Guar. Guar never changed.
I love going occasionally to the Wikipedia page. It has like a list of all the people that have been in war.
Yeah.
Just, like, reading the names.
Their names, yeah. Pretty good stuff.
No, this is food. This is yeah, because we're gonna want to end up with stuff in it.
Okay, there's a few groups I'd see. Like I've never seen Sturfiker.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Sturfiker. That's how you pronounce it. Thank you. Sturfiker. You remember, anybody who's a fan of Butthole Surfers, there's a reason why they never became famous.
Your band name can basically set your.
Definitely had nothing to do with all the drugs.
They used to actually be called Starfucker though. Like,
Yeah, they
straight up Starfucker, and they changed it.
Does anybody remember when the guys from Butthole Surfers and Alex Jorgensen and the guys from Ministry came together and formed a band? Do you remember that band? They were called the Revolting Dogs. And they actually had a hit. They had a club hit. It was a cover of that Rod Stewart song, If You Think I'm Saying.
Oh my god.
Google it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You're welcome, by the way. It was an awesome song. Take you right back to the heart of the 90s. I loved Ministry.
Ridiculous. It's like an Apex Twin or something.
Yeah, it's industrial. We called it industrial back then. When I was living in Houston, there was a band called The Hunger. Stabbing Western.
This is serious.
Yeah, for work.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
I know. Or what was that band? Orgy? Some Opticon. Nice were cool.
Yeah, they're a special time.
How cool are they?
Yeah, we need more. Okay, so check it out. We have the rebels and basically. So we need to, yeah, here's what it was. It was the key. So we change that to name and have a price and have an awesome. like here where it's like lunches. There was a teacher that value like David or something.
Do I have to put it on my layout?
Yes, yes. Like I said before, that's one of the gotchas. There has to be a views folder that has all your various ones, and then layouts, which is kind of the core. This is kind of a little.
What's your
That's by way of design by Handlebars. Views. Yeah. Here, let me see. See, there's a. I have this folder views, and then inside of it, there's a layouts folder. See, views, and then layouts has the main. Check out that opera. Or I guess it's a part of an opera. It's called.
No, it's actually.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay. So it's only a certain time of year that classically you would hear that.
What did you change?
The thing is that Catholics are awesome because they're like, oh, Lent's coming out. We really just party our asses off doing it over all the rest of it.
Oh, it's
Party
Yeah,
yeah, Carnival.
I'm an idiot.
It really is like, get it all out of your system.
It's running. Yeah.
Alright, so I did that earlier today, actually.
Oh, that's so tough.
Wait.
Because, yeah, I know one.
That's just the route. That section of as a query.
Because why not? This is awesome. For the record, Jim, while you're teaching us this, they prefer that you refer to the triple curly bracket as a triple stash.
Triple stash. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Just wanted to make sure.
Double stash, triple
we're
stash.
on the up and up here.
Gotcha. Thank you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Because I don't think
This is the fancy shit you.
Did you get the whole?
No, I'm still marveling at my genius for making me sense.
It's because I have the wrong.
Now, in theory, this should work. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, so you want to go into your oh my God. Here are I mean, it's not even comfortable.
Oh, so we need to leave that as all one.
Well, right now it's
Yeah, you would switch out.
yeah. Remember block those. So you would go through variable. Yeah, essentially you are going to follow the way this one is set up.
So now if you do, so say, this goes
Well, it would be whatever influences. This one I'm just saying, yes, that's basically saying, when someone comes to the root of the request, response rendered using handlebars.
Oh, okay.
We'll specifically grab an individual one. So like, have you saved this in front of
in theory, they should work as well.
So this was it.
If I can get the proof.
Go to the directory.
Would you want to listen?
And then say, do you install the node modules yet? There's no modules. Okay, so you say node space. No, I'm sorry. Sorry. Now what we would do is we would go to local host. Oh shit. Okay, so let's go along to the browser. So to the browser, yeah. So what it does is no, an actual
It's only ice cream.
That's the route.
It's only ice cream.
Older.
It's all one word.
And then you're supposed to write.
You're all handlebar.
You're supposed to write ice cream.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what this situation is.
This is a PC. So there's your. Okay. So it is using the template. But also highlight where you still have three down. Well, yeah, so you can, but I would do that, copy and paste it.
It's a back change. That might be very strong.
You are, yeah, you're definitely playing that. So like right now, it's trying to get basically server rank, yes.
Okay.
Like, let's try to go to weekend.
I'm going to go.
I'm doing that in the actual school. So when I say like go to it, I'm talking about go to
Yeah. I'm gonna get one. Yeah, it's just like.
We may want to set up a one-on-one.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, class is officially over now. You guys want me to slack you today? Is that white wine?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Genius.
Took a whole box.
It's triple juice.
Oh, you don't need to put the cold on the back. It's that cold on. Yeah. You can just hold on to the back. It means it's
Bro.
Oh shit.
That's better. Does he return anything on the
I like this.
you don't need to do it. You don't like render a template that
I feel like it's got a lot of potential right now.
I would see the ice cream around.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I know like the small game.
This would be the equivalent of like lunches, and then I reference that from the server, and we do stuff right here.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't return our camera.
The only one I
Okay. Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna slack it out right now.
That was like the first It's the first one. That was bad.
All right, guys, I just put the zip with the Ben and Jerry's app up there. See you Wednesday, guys. Please, if you guys are running into meat and potatoes express things, if things aren't cooking yet, let us know. We need to set up one-on-ones and get you guys.
Yeah.
Express is going to be a big part.
Oh, Stan. Yeah, how you doing? Lots of things.
What?
They have conversations.
We're working on it now. Yeah. Well, required. My son was graduating. Preschool. Yeah, it was cute. They did sang songs and danced and all that stuff. They had a slideshow. He had a cheering section of 10 people. Pretty good size turnout for him.
Jim, so we want to set up one-on-one sessions while these girls can just.
Give you those out. There's plenty of TAs who have time to make up too, so there should be somebody to make up.
All right, Jim, see you Wednesday.
I will see you Wednesday. Everything going okay?
Yeah. I'm already catching up.
Very good. Good to hear. Yep, I am. I'm coming. Are you guys on right now? Like a panther in the sky? Like a